Good evening. Quant is back in the news today. We're going to be discussing a major partnership that they have made, and that was announced this week actually. Quant is taking on Japan with Dentsu Soken Inc., a strategic partnership. And I'm going to be explaining in this video why this is so big and why the charts fully line up. It's almost go time for Quant. So stay tuned for the charts near the end of the video. First, we're going to be discussing the news surrounding this topic. So we're seeing here Quant and Dentsu Token are partnering to build global settlement and tokenized deposit infrastructure in Japan. UK tested it in regulated systems. Now Japan is moving from pilot to production, combining regulatory experience with implementation expertise across Japanese financial institutions. So this is not just a test. This is an actual pilot to production and a next step in tokenized deposits. Here we're seeing the full press release. So this is coming from 14 January. And there's going to be a shift in Japan taking place. Japan is one of the biggest financial markets, and they are the ones who going fully digital, fully blockchain. They're one of the front runners here. So not just tokenized deposits, but also institutional stablecoins and programmable settlement infrastructure. So we see here they've entered into a strategic partnership to help Japanese institutions adopt programmable digital money and modernize their settlement infrastructure. Quant provides the interbank programmable settlement and orchestration infrastructure already used in regulated pilots with the Bank of England and the BIS Project Rosalind. So these were major pilots that I covered before as well. Of course, the BIS and the Bank of England are one of the biggest players in the whole financial system. And not just that, they also worked with the European Central Bank, UK Regulated Liability Network, and the Great Britain Tokenized Deposit Projects. So there's a reason they are choosing Quant here. There's some other projects that they could have chosen. Of course, they could have tried to work with Ripple. There's some other potential candidates like XTC or there's very few, of course, blockchain projects, but it's very interesting that they choose Quant, who's now at a $1 billion market cap. So, what is Dentsu Soken? They have long developed and delivered wide range of mission-critical payment and settlement systems for Japan's leading financial system institutions. So they have been building the backbone here for Japan's financial system. So they work the settlement system compatible with the BOJnet. It's the Bank of Japan real-time growth settlement system. A lot of global core banking systems, international banking systems, cash management solutions, Swift consolidation, and even more. So tokenized deposits. So this is one of the main focus. And I'm going to be explaining why this is so big. So I have here in my notes, what we can see here is tokenized deposits. But what it means is actually it's a digital representation of bank money that stays on the bank's balance sheet but become programmable via blockchain. So they're using existing, basically bank balances, but then it's becoming tokenized, and you can program this on the blockchain. So they're bringing this is a way to bring this towards the blockchain, actually. And the market of this is massive. So this could potentially point to the full market of Japan. They have a very high savings culture, and they have a total savings of around 8 to 9 trillion US dollars in total bank deposits across institutions. So that is the absolute max amount of money there is available. And this is basically the opportunity that Quant is aiming for, which is crazy numbers, if you ask me. Of course, this will all go in stages, but very interesting to see that Quant is the one that's chosen to start this up. Then there's more. We have a major milestone for the UK as well. They are doing, they're very much focused now on the legislation and creating a comprehensive crypto assets regulatory regime coming into force in 2027. So they're already very strict with DOC 8 and the CARF regulations. As I've mentioned in previous videos, they're making it very stricter for tax potential tax avoidance. So everything will be tracked now, but there's coming more legislation into place, and that's all coming in 2027. And Quant here, they're actually quite happy with it because they're so fully compliant with all these legislations, all these rules that are needed. So they're actually quite happy, and they're saying we're welcome technology neutral regulation that enables responsible innovation. So for a lot of crypto projects and potentially exchanges and users, of course, they might not be too happy with what's happening here. But this is what needed if you're building a new type of financial system that includes blockchain and distributed ledger technology. You need a very strict regulatory clarity in regards to what's going to happen. So this is what we're seeing here on the UK government website, actually. So this will come into force in 2027, marks a major development in delivering on the government ambition to make the UK global destinations for digital assets. Consumers will also be protected by bringing assets into the scope of similar rules for other regulated financial products like stocks and shares. So it could actually push out a lot of tokens and coins that are not do not want to apply by certain rules that are coming. So this is why this is also might not be too great for a lot of other crypto projects, but for Quant this is just another opportunity. What we're seeing here is this is from 2024 already. What we're seeing R3 and Quant support of the publication of UK Finance UK Regulatory Liability Network Experimentation Phase Report. So they made an entire report here, and Quant and R3 were chosen to build this. So as you can see here, the report follows work with the UK Finance with 11 of its members. And you see here the biggest banking names, MasterCard, Barclays, Citi, you name them, they are all on there. So Quant is all friends with these kind of big names. They are all connected, which is why this is so important to see the name of Quant in this. And they did not just that. We're seeing here also, this is what happened in the UK, where this was end last year. We see Quant selected to deliver infrastructure for UK tokenized sterling deposit project. So very similar what the news is coming from now in Japan. Only this news from Japan is just a bigger step, more potential, and further ahead. Was also in the news. You saw that it's not just a test, but it's an actual pilot, and the market there is a lot bigger. And Japan is simply a lot further than many countries in getting digital ledger technology and blockchain on board. So this is the important news that's been coming from Quant the last 2 weeks. And we're seeing here the CEO, he's been very active. He's the brain behind the project. I showed his CV already in a previous video, which is quite massive. And he's saying here, for decades, money has been electronic, but fundamentally limited, operating to simple push and pull mechanisms. It hasn't evolved with our digital world and tokenized assets until now. So this Financial Times highlights how Lloyds and other UK banks are moving towards tokenized deposits, bringing real customer money onto blockchain infrastructure. Pivotal moment for finance and money itself. So we're seeing the same thing here happen in many countries with UK, Japan, other countries that are all speaking about this. The UAE is very quickly. And of course, Trump is also speaking about moving, updating the financial system and using potentially crypto and blockchain. So very interesting. And they're saying at Quant, we've actually been focused on this challenge for years. We're building secure, interoperable infrastructure that allows institutions to connect, transact, and innovate without fragmenting the system to compromise trust. So we're seeing the actual steps play out. First of all, the last 2 years before, it was a lot of speculation, people talking about tokenization, of course. This has been the big buzzword for quite a while. But now we're seeing the actual steps being taken in big countries like the UK and Japan. And Quant is on top of all of them. And this is why this is so big, because their token itself is so small at this point. It's a billion market cap. And if you compare this, with XRP or just regular blockchains like Solana, the BNB, there's such a big gap between this. And you see that Quant is getting these type of partnerships. And imagine the full shift that is coming in the next years when we actually start to read news reports that we foresee, for example, that Japan is going to tokenize first a trillion of the bank deposits, and Quant is behind the infrastructure. Then 3 trillion, then five, who knows? And of course, that is the time when everybody starts to notice, oh shit, I should have bought Quant. Quant is the one that's driving this. That's a good momentum to move into the charts right now. And let me show you why it's actually time for Quant. There I have 3 charts here collected. A lot of people will just look at the Quant versus USDT chart, but I also look at a lot of other factors. And here we have the Quant versus Bitcoin chart. And here we see a very interesting pattern playing out. So we're seeing here, when we're looking all the way back to 2022, we basically had a double top here versus Bitcoin. And since then, we've been grinding down all the way. So we've been a very long pattern, and we see this very clear trend. This became very strong resistance. The more it touches, the stronger the pattern. But also at some point, it's going to crack. And that is what we've been seeing. We're seeing this bottom formation forming. So we had 3 type of triple bottoms, and we've seen this compression, and then we had the breakout. Well, very interesting that we broke exactly towards the top of this range. And as we can see, this is quite an important resistance point. So while we had this breakout surge initially, we retested it back, we had a bounce, and we actually tested it twice. A lot of people think, okay, now it's broken out. It either has to go immediately or the retest is there, and then we're going to be flying. While that could be the case, and often it happens, it's certainly not necessary. You can also have a second bounce here, and then we start to fly. So what we're seeing here, we're seeing quite a good bounce, but this is still nothing yet on the high time frame. But I do think the time is now. Quant has been in a multiple year consolidation pattern, and with all the news that has been coming out for Quant, at some point it's going to be hard to ignore this any longer. Then we have the USDT chart. Is here we're seeing how long the consolidation has been. Actually, we're seeing here at the top of 2021, seeing it all the way 2025, 26, now beginning of 26. So this is a 5-year consolidation pattern, and we've seen this with XRP, which had a similar time frame of consolidation pattern, and then we saw the rise. We're seeing is also this upward trend has been very strong. This is where we're always bouncing. So these are the areas to buy. This is always the time to buy. What I expect is we're going to be working our way upwards here to this resistance. Very likely that we're going to see a little bit of retracement again instead of just moving towards it. But eventually, we're going to break through this again. So that's going to be somewhere in the mid of June or somewhere in the mid or early 2026, which I expect we're going to be breaking out, and we're going to be breaking out quite finely, and we're going to break out above the last higher 400. That's my opinion. I think many people are sleeping on Quant simply because they do not understand here what's going on, what the changes are in financial systems, and where it's heading to. So instead, it's very easy to just buy. There's so many other tokens in the top 100 uh, that you can buy that have some hype behind it, which look cool, that have some cool use cases, but simply not, do not have potential anywhere near what tokens like Quant or XDC have here. So for the last chart, I want to take Quant versus XRP, which is also very interesting. So I always say do not just look at the USDT chart because you're missing out of a lot. So first of all, we're seeing this bottom forming here. This is throughout 2025. Quant is performing very similar as XRP is what we can see here. And we're forming here this compression. And yes, we finally broke out. And now we did the retest. So this was the perfect time actually to switch some of your XRP towards Quant. And now we're starting to see the movement here in Quant. Quant has been forming very good the last 2 days from 70 all the way up to 58 now. And yeah, I expect this to continue. Once we hit the top here, this is some resistance still. But once we break that, we should go all the way up here. And that means it's going to be a 2x versus XRP if we hit this area. So that's very interesting. So it doesn't matter what XRP does, as long as Quant versus XRP is going here. You have an opportunity to possibly create some more Quant here. This is of course not financial advice, but this is how I see it when I look at the charts, the BTC chart. I think Quant simply is looking better than XRP now here on these time frames, and I still believe XRP is going to perform very well. So that says a lot for me. All right, so that's been everything. The main focus today was on this collaboration because it's such a massive opportunity, a market that they're tuning into, which is talking about trillions. So tokenized deposits. This is why this is so big, because it's using the existing money that's people bank balances, and they're putting it, they're creating it in a way that it's going to be on the blockchain and it's programmable. And this is why this is so big. All right, I've been through everything right now. Make sure to subscribe and leave a comment. What do you think about this partnership? Let me know how many Quant you have. I'm very interested. If you want to tell me, let me know how deep you are in the game. I think myself, if you can be able to stack around 100 Quant, you're going to be very rich in the future, the coming years, up to 2030, which is all this tokenization is playing out. So this is now becoming real time. It's not becoming a buzzword anymore, becoming real time. And between now and 2030, it's just going to be a bull run for Quant and tokens like this. So while it may not go up in one go, there may be some small downsides, but this is a token you want to be holding at this point, at this current time. All right, that's it for this one. Good evening, everybody, and talk to you in the next one.